Hi, I'm Maria Pardalis, and welcome to my Mediterranean kitchen. As a first-generation Greek American, I grew up cooking and baking with my very Greek mother. And yes, in case you were wondering, my big fat Greek wedding is pretty much my life story. I was the girl that brought strange foreign foods to school, while everyone else enjoyed their bologna sandwiches on Wonder Bread. It was pretty humiliating. Now, fast forward to today, and words cannot describe how thankful I am to know how to cook and prepare all natural and delicious meals in the comfort of my own home. All I can say is that it's extremely easy to do, and if I can do it, you can do it. I am not a professionally trained chef, just a girl that loves to cook, bake, and most of all, eat. So, are you ready to learn how to create simple yet scrumptious Mediterranean dishes? Okay, let's get chopping and slicing. Today we're going to start off our meal with an easy to prepare appetizer of cremini mushroom crostini. This appetizer is extremely easy to make, and it will definitely wow your guests because it'll look like you were slaving over the stove for hours, and it's so easy. So what I'm doing here is cutting little toasts, because crostini in Italian means little toast. So using a multi-grain baguette and cutting with a bread knife that's serrated on the diagonal, we're creating our little toasts. And you don't have to use the entire baguette. Basically, you can ration it out and save the rest for later, or use the entire baguette, because you can actually make this appetizer ahead and serve it tomorrow. Now, I like to call this my skinny crostini because although it will taste so delicious and so rich, it's so good for you. Now we've created our little crostinis, and we're taking our flat baking sheet and using some extra virgin olive oil. Always splurge on olive oil. It makes a huge difference in your meal. Even if you just use a brush of it, you'll see it'll enhance the flavor of all of your other ingredients. Using a nice little brush, we'll brush each side and lay these flat. This will go in the oven, which we already have preheating at 400 degrees. And we're just going to bake these for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Okay, now that we've lightly brushed each piece of our crostini with extra virgin olive oil, we're putting these in the oven to bake for 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Okay, while those are going, we'll start on our cremini mushroom topping. Cremini mushrooms are also called baby bella, and they're available all year round. You can find them everywhere. They are a lot tastier than your regular white button mushrooms. To start, we have 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil heating over medium heat, and we're going to add 3 cloves of crushed garlic. This will saute for about 1 to 2 minutes or until lightly browned. You don't want to burn your garlic. Also, you don't want to buy jarred garlic. Trust me, I know it might be easier, but you don't know how old it is, and the flavor does not compare to the fresh stuff. Our next ingredient is a medium shallot, and this will add as well. Sorry, I had a little Julia moment over there. My shallots went flying. And we'll brown these along with the onion, the garlic, shallot, and 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme leaves. You know, I know it's really hard to have fresh herbs on hand, but the flavor, just like what I was comparing to before with the garlic, it is a lot better. So just buy an herb garden. You can have it by your window and just pluck out a few little leaves whenever you need it. Okay. And another thing about mushrooms, I have to tell you, they are so healthy. 1 cup is 20 calories, and it's fat-free and sugar-free. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Okay. That's turning a nice light brown color. Now we'll add in our 10 ounces of sliced baby bella mushrooms. Beautiful. We'll allow this to cook for about 10 minutes or until the mushrooms have, decreased in size and gotten soft and a nice light brown color. Okay. All right, so now that our mushrooms have cooked thoroughly, we are adding 2 tablespoons of aged balsamic vinegar. Ooh, and increasing our heat to high. Look at that sizzle. Love that. This will caramelize them and make them amazing. And we'll season with some coarse sea salt, okay, and some freshly ground pepper. I wish you were here to smell this. It is just amazing. And this topped with some shaved Parmesan cheese, heaven, heaven, heaven. Okay, so that's done. We're going to take our crostini out of the oven and assemble. So we've taken our crostini out of the oven and placed it on our serving dish. And now we're adding our mushroom topping. This is so good. And like I said earlier, if you chose to do this before you had guests over, like a day before, you can actually make the top after it cools, put the topping in a plastic little container, and toast the bread and put it in an airtight container. It doesn't have to be in the refrigerator. And you just assemble the day of. That is how easy. Wonderful. Now that our crostini has gotten its mushroom topping, we are going to add shaved Parmesan Reggiano cheese over the top. I would keep a few light on the cheese just because some of your guests or your friends, family may not like cheese that much. Definitely not my family. They eat a lot of cheese because we're Greek, but that's another story. Okay, wonderful. And lastly, we're adding another tablespoon of fresh thyme for garnish. And voila, you have a skinny crostini rustic appetizer, cremini mushroom crostini. Now we're going to make a simple and classic Mediterranean style salad of fennel and arugula topped with toasted pine nuts. To begin, we're going to take a nice big fennel bulb. We already have one sliced. You'll need 2 for the salad. We have 1 sliced along with 2 cups of fresh arugula. Fennel is really loved in Mediterranean cooking. You'll see it here in a lot of restaurants, and the Americans are just now starting to get very acquainted with it. Now, to begin, you have to slice your fennel in half. And then this top part, the fronds, you actually keep. Do not throw this away because the fennel bulb is not only a vegetable, it's an herb, a spice, and you can use the seeds for tea. Ancient Greeks actually used their seeds for, to help them stay skinny, basically, to curb obesity. It suppressed their appetite. We're going to save only the fronds, the herb part this time. This is also edible, but we're not going to use this today. We are adding this to our dressing. It will be so delish. Okay, so we're putting this on the side. We don't need these parts. And when you cut fennel, it's really important to cut against the grain, just like this. And if you'd like, you can run your knife across it, depending on how thin you want your pieces. Say we run our knife once more, so your guests are not eating these big pieces of fennel that they'll have to cut with a fork and knife, because that I hate more than anything, having to use a fork and a knife for your salad. Okay, now we'll add this to our arugula. Okay, and we also have 3 medium carrots that we've cut into little nice round pieces. And we'll just add those to the top, just like that. Now, in Europe, it's really popular to use lemon in dressing instead of vinegar. So that's what we're doing here. We've squeezed the juice of 2 lemons. It's about a 1/4 cup in a bowl, and we're going to add 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. There we go. And we'll season it with some coarse sea salt and some freshly ground pepper. Now using a whisk, we're going to blend this. Now if you want more of a French-inspired salad, you can add some Dijon mustard. That will act as an emulsifier and will make a nice creamy dressing. But we're keeping this light and sweet, so no creaminess for us today. And lastly, we're taking a lemon and we're just going to grate about 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon zest. This will add a kick to your salad. This is a great tool. You should invest in one. It's a microplane and it makes your life so much easier. Okay, that looks about right. 1 tablespoon. Beautiful. We'll give this another little whisk. And pour it over our salad. Wonderful. But star of the show is a toasted pine nut. Please toast your nuts when you use them in salad. It really makes such a big difference. The flavor, it enhances it so much, and it tastes like you're eating like candy, and it's a nut. We're using a 1/4 cup here. Beautiful. Now just using our tongs, we'll toss this. And there you have it. In minutes, you have a gourmet salad that will surely impress your friends and is very healthy. And there you go. Nice, colorful, classic Mediterranean-style salad. Fennel and arugula topped with toasted pine nuts. As you might imagine, you can't separate Mediterranean cooking from the excellent fresh seafood that gives this cuisine its name. Our next dish originates from the Greek island of Santorini and is called shrimp Santorini with orzo. To begin, we have 3 medium tomatoes that we're starting to slice into little cubes. Tomatoes are actually not a vegetable, in case some of you didn't know. They're a fruit. So they're going to add a little sweetness to our shrimp dish. Color is an important part of the Mediterranean diet because the more color a dish has, the more nutrients it has. So for example, these tomatoes, the brightness of them comes from lycopene. So they're very rich in lycopene, and when you cook them, it increases its lycopene factor. So quite contrary to what people say about eating foods raw, it's opposite for the tomato. There we go. Now we've added a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil to our frying pan, and we have our heat at medium-high. You might think a 1/4 cup's a lot, but remember, we're using this amount for the entire dish. And extra virgin olive oil is so good for you. I mean, they use it in our spas here in Europe. It's used in lotions, in shampoos, to add softness to the hair. It's amazing. Okay, now we're going to add 4 cloves of crushed garlic and saute this just for 1 to 2 minutes until lightly brown. Remember, you don't want to burn your garlic. Now that we have our garlic sauteing, we'll add our next ingredients. We have a 1/5 cup of chopped celery, a 1/2 cup of chopped fresh scallions. We have a tablespoon of dried oregano, a tablespoon of fresh mint, a tablespoon of our fresh basil. Ooh, I love that sizzle. and a 1/4 cup of fresh Italian flat leaf parsley. We'll allow this to saute for about 2 minutes. Smells really good. While this sautés, we have our oven already going at 400 degrees from the cuisine. We're just going to bring it up to 20 more degrees to 420 because we're going to add our dish there in the end to bake. Meanwhile, we have 1.5 pounds of fresh shrimp that have been peeled and deveined. And they're resting in 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. We'll saute this just a little bit more. Now we'll add 1 cup of crushed tomatoes. And yes, they are canned. And the reason for that is, especially in the winter, you can't always get a good tomato all year round. They're not like our mushrooms. So when you buy canned crushed tomatoes, you're always guaranteed the ripest tomato since they're picked at their peak ripeness. While this is cooking, I want to show you our orzo. We already have some pre-made. This is what it looks like. But this is what it began like before we made it. Orzo is widely used in the Mediterranean, and it looks like little pieces of rice, but it's really pasta. And you cook it the same way as you make pasta. You boil your water, add your pasta, add some salt, bring it to a boil, then lower your heat, simmer, and drain. It's that easy. But it's great in dishes like this because it plumps up into these nice little pillowy pieces, and it's great for the sauce of the shrimp santorini. So we'll put this back, and we'll focus on the shrimp part now. Now we're going to add 3 medium chopped tomatoes. Whoa, little Julia moment for you there. Now it's time to add our white wine. I suggest you use your favorite white wine. It doesn't matter what variety, because the kind of wine that you use to cook with, you can use the same type to drink with your meal, since shrimp pairs excellently with a white wine. Okay, so we're adding 1/2 cup of Sauvignon Blanc. Okay, so we're bringing this to a boil, and once it reaches a boil, we'll lower it and let it simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes or until the sauce becomes nice and thick. Our tomato mixture is ready. So we'll bring this over and we'll take half of it and put it on the bottom of this oven-proof casserole dish. Smells so good. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. I can't help myself. And on top of this, we'll add the shrimp. Here we go. Okay. Beautiful. And we'll top this off with the remaining tomato sauce. Yummy. And now we'll add our feta cheese. We're adding 1 cup of crumbled feta cheese. And now we'll add the feta cheese. We have 1 cup of crumbled feta cheese. Feta is very healthy. It has less calories than most cheese and has 1/3 less fat than most other cheeses. So you can be generous here. And we'll just sprinkle this. Beautiful. Voila. And we'll season the top of this dish with some ground pepper and coarse sea salt. When it comes out of the oven, we'll add a few more extra herbs for garnish. But now it's ready to go in to our oven, which we already have going at 425 for about 8 to 10 minutes. Now it's time for my favorite part of the meal, dessert. We're making a spiced pear and fig compote. I am so excited to show you this recipe because it's so easy yet delicious to make. The ingredient list will scare you. However, the preparation could not be easier. Trust me. So, in a medium-sized saucepan, we're adding 2 to 3 medium ripe pears that we've chopped and cored. We haven't taken off the peel because that's where the nutrients live. Along with these pears, we've tossed them with 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of, actually not a teaspoon, we're just using a pinch of cloves and a pinch of nutmeg. All right, we'll add all of these. That looks about right. We have a half a cup of unsweetened applesauce. We'll add a half cup of unsweetened apple cider, which first we'll shake because you always have to shake your apple cider to mix it. We have 1 teaspoon of lemon zest that we're going to add. Fresh lemon zest. This will add a little kick to our compote. Beautiful. And we have half a cup of halved and stemmed figs. You can use a variety of figs, whatever dried figs you like. And lastly, we're adding a pinch of sea salt. The only sweetener that we're using, remember, yes, this does contain sugar, natural sugars, nothing added. We're only sweetening this dessert with a half cup of antioxidant-rich honey. Yummy. Here, I think I'll take the lid off. Make it easier. Beautiful. This will now go over the stovetop. We'll bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we'll simmer for 30 to 35 minutes or until it's reached your desired consistency. How easy is that? Told you. And there we have it, our rustic Italian appetizer of cremini mushroom crostini, our classic Mediterranean-style salad, arugula and fennel topped with toasted pine nuts, our main dish, scrumptious shrimp santorini over orzo, and my favorite part, dessert, our rich spiced pear and fig compote served over Greek-style yogurt. Pair this beautiful meal with a glass of your favorite white wine, and voila! You have a meal that is composed of all the vibrant colors that you need for a healthy Mediterranean diet, but that will also impress your family and friends. Until next time, I want to wish you bon appetit and kalli όρεξη, like the Greeks say. It's time to eat now. And boy, is this good.